Good evening, Walkerville, Ontario. I'm Marlon O'Neill, and we have some interesting stories coming out of Walkerville today. Our first story today was about a cat rescued by a firefighter. Wow, you can't make this stuff up, folks.
As the crew gets into place, a crowd gathers across the street. And within minutes, the kitten is brought to safety.
Little excitement downtown, eh?
Now, isn't that adorable? We have some breaking news for the citizens of Walkerville. We were just informed that a small company in town did not regularly test the water for contaminants. Rachel is live on the scene to figure out what's going on.
Thank you, Marlon. I'm here with the chemical engineer responsible for testing the water quality. So can you tell us a little bit more about what you found in the water?
So after I tested the water sample, I found some dangerous levels of E. coli in there. And I was contracted through the local water company to test the water. So when I went back to them, I reported my findings to the supervisor there, and she said that she would deal with it. So I just kind of moved on. But I noticed a couple days later that she hadn't brought anything up to the people in town yet. So I kind of went back to her and kind of prodded her a little more. And she continued to do nothing about it. So I just kind of figured that she would handle it, but I guess she never got around to it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Wow, isn't that concerning? This violates 2 AICHE codes of ethics. 1. Hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public and protect the environment and performance of their professional duties. And 2. Formally advise their employers or clients and consider further disclosure if warranted, if they perceive that a consequence of their duties will adversely affect the present or future health or safety of their colleagues or the public.
Today I'm here with the commissioner of the water testing facility, and I have a few questions to ask her. So the chemical engineer came up and asked you about the water quality of the E. coli in the water, and you decided to ignore it. Why did you do this?
We decided that because the levels were high, but it was from water runoff, we thought it was just a temporary issue, so we didn't want to raise a lot of alarm if it was just going to fix itself within a day or two.
Okay, well, thank you.
Many people must be wondering what caused this issue. Well, Rachel is at the site with Michael Harrison to get some more answers on this.
Okay, today I'm here with one of the people responsible for the recent budget cuts in the water quality testing. Can you tell me a little bit about why these recent budget cuts have been happening?
Well, since we do live in a smaller community of only around 5,000 people, we only bring in so much money to fund these kinds of things. For instance, with the recent increase in funding for the public school systems in our area, we've had to cut back in other areas, and this is one of those areas that we had to cut back in.
Okay, a lot of the community members have their own wells and stuff. Does that make an impact on how you guys are able to test and how you guys get water out to people?
Yeah, so with our budget cutbacks, we've had to lay off some people, which leads to staffing issues and leads to a decrease in the number of tests we can perform on a regular basis. These decreases in testing and the number of wells that are in the community, we have to skip over some of those wells, and it could lead to gaps in well water testing, which could lead to dangerous well drinking water.
Okay, well, thank you. And back to you, Marlon.
This is extremely alarming for the small community of Walkerville. I received more info about the chemical engineer. The chemical engineer made repeated attempts to contact his supervisor, however, no answers were returned. It's a shame that the engineer didn't try to talk to other colleagues and reinforce the issue to their supervisor. Now that this information has been leaked to the public, how do the citizens feel about the issue here in Ontario? Eh?
Thank you, Marlon. Today I'm here as a concerned citizen of Walkerville, Ontario. And today we're going to talk about the water quality they've been keeping a secret from the citizens.
Yeah, it's really upsetting, they kept it as a secret because we don't know how long this has been going on, and they claim it's because of the recent rains and the manure runoff, but there's no real clear way to distinguish that.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern, especially, with health concerns it possibly could bring up, especially for the humans as well as the animals in this small community. Do you have any ethical concerns because of this?
Yeah, I feel like it's not ethically right because as a company, you should be really concerned about, the local citizens and the environment as well. And E. coli, a strain of E. coli can be very harmful and could really sicken everyone, and then everyone in this small community is in trouble.
Yeah, especially in a community that doesn't have as much of an access to health care.
Yeah, and then you also, if they don't feel they need to test the water now, what concerns does this bring up for other companies? And much bigger companies could have a bigger influence in bigger communities, and then you could have more detrimental issues to other larger communities. So,
well, thank you for joining us today as we talk about the water quality here in Walkerville, Ontario. Back to you, Marlon.
This is alarming. To the citizens of Walkerville, please don't drink the water. Signing off, I'm Marlon O'Neill. Stay classy, Ontario.
3 days later.
Walkerville, Ontario. E. coli outbreak results in tragedy. Half the town has become sick. Now it all started when torrential rains caused major flooding in the town. It has been a very rainy spring. Farmers' fields are flooded throughout the area. The manure that was used in the town ran into the wells and the main water supply of the citizens. This, along with the systemic failure of both the local and provincial governments, led to the disaster. It's just like a major shuttle service. The critically ill are medevaced to hospitals of the South. We cannot stand it. Night and day, people are coming home early from work. Half the town is sick, and no one knows how many will die or how many more will fall ill. What is the fate of Walkerville, Ontario? That is what many people are asking.